Hello Apex Champions. Today we'll be focusing on the role of the Jumpmaster and how to become the best one of your group. We'll talk about how to jump like a pro in order to maximize distance. We'll also talk about certain areas of the map that hinders your jump, and finally, proper jumping etiquette if you're not the Jumpmaster. Alright, let's jump. The drop mechanism in Apex Legends isn't like the other battle royale games like Fortnite, PUBG, or Blackout. I'd say it's much more similar to the way you dive and glide in the Batman Arkham series of games, if you ever played those. Great game, by the way, you should definitely give it a try if you have the chance. Anyways, back to Apex and jumping. First of all, if you're unsure of the distance of a location, you could always put a marker on the map and it'll give you the distance between you and your destination. The maximum distance you can achieve when you jump off from the dropship is between 1000 meters to 1200 meters depending on your path and if there are any obstacles in your way. In order to achieve the greatest range in your jump, here's what you'll need to do. As soon as you launch from the dropship, you need to start diving right away by pitching downwards immediately. The target speed we want to reach is 145. When your speed reaches around that, start pitching upwards by looking up. It'll take about a second for you to level out and start gliding. At this point, your speed will start slowly decreasing, so you want to head towards your destination if you haven't already done that while diving. What we want to do now is to glide and keep going until your speed drops to about 125. At 125, you will need to pitch down and start diving downwards to bring your speed back up to 145. Once at 145, level out and start gliding again. Rinse and repeat until you reach your destination. Using this technique, you can reach destinations that are about 1200 meters away if there are no obstructions in your way. Otherwise, you should likely reach locations that are within 1000 meters of where you launched. Next, we'll cover certain out-of-bounds areas in Kings Canyon. These mountains and other platforms can be found all over the map, notably surrounding artillery. They are of higher elevations than normal playable areas, so be careful when you fly by them too low. It'll trigger the landing sequence and prematurely end your drop. Try to fly higher or just avoid those areas altogether. On a side note, you can actually land on these areas, but you'll be prompted to return to the battle. You have 30 seconds to do so. You can use these areas to your advantage to scout and shoot enemies that don't expect people to be there. Remember, if you don't vacate within 30 seconds, you'll just drop dead. Finally, jump etiquette. If you're not the Jumpmaster, here are a couple of rules of thumb you should follow to be a good teammate. You can ping locations to suggest them to the Jumpmaster, but ultimately, it is him that will decide where to drop. While diving to your destination, consider helping the Jumpmaster by pointing out nearby enemy squads that are going in the same direction as your squad. This allows the Jumpmaster to adjust his course if he judges that there are too many enemies at a given place. When you are nearing your landing area, consider breaking formation and drop separately to a different building or nearby location. This allows your squad to spread out and loot more effectively. Obviously, you shouldn't do this if you're dropping in a hot zone with a lot of enemy squads. In this situation, you should all drop together into a close by area because this will allow your squad to protect each other. If you can, try to land into a big building or a cluster of loot bins as it will offer more loot than smaller cabins and buildings. Once you find shields and a weapon, group up right away to start hunting down nearby squads. Keep in mind that if you find two sets of weapons, leave one for your teammate rather than picking up both. Alternatively, you can pick it up and bring it to your teammate. When you drop close together, loot is more scarce and providing a weapon to your teammate definitely increases your chance of survival. If you are the Jumpmaster, whenever someone else suggests a location, consider responding to the ping by acknowledging and agreeing to that location. If you don't agree with the location, mark a destination yourself to let the rest of the squad know where you intend on going. One last tip. If you are the Jumpmaster and you do not want to take on that responsibility, you can always relinquish it. If you give up your Jumpmaster duties, please do so early. Don't wait until the end because it will leave your successor at a disadvantage. Try to avoid withdrawing from this role. Not all players pay attention and they might be caught by surprise and aren't ready to jump. Also, the more you jump, the better you get at it. Not to mention, you are watching a Jumpmaster tip video. You have no excuse to relinquish that role anymore. So there you have it. I hope these Jumpmaster tips will help you guys up your game and help you guys have better jumps, better landings, and more importantly, better games. We're really new with this YouTube stuff, so if you have any suggestions on how we can improve, things you'd like to see, or if you have tips you'd like us to include in our future videos, Feel free to let us know in the comments below. We'll try to post weekly videos, and in our next video, we'll talk about Mirage, how to play him and how to counter him. I invite you guys to hit that subscribe button and stay up to date with our tips. You can also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for the Apex Champions. On that note, may the odds be ever in your favor, champions.